On the news tonight, APC holds peaceful state congress in Lagos with new executives promising better service. In business, a minister for budgets and national planning inaugurates economic planning committee for Nigeria Economic Summit. On the foreign scene, United Nations votes to send war crime investigators to Gaza. Hello there, and many thanks for joining us on Superscreen's flagship news, broadcasting to you live from Lagos. I am Adenike Oweye Ajiboye. The All Progressives Congress (APC) in Lagos has produced new leaders that will steer the ship of the party in the state. These leaders emerged today at the State Congress held at the party secretariat in Ogba. The exercise started at the early hours of today with accreditation of party leaders, delegates, and other members. The committee who conducted the exercise gave their assessment.
Lagos is organized, the politics here is good. The difference between political power and governance is very clear. And number one, Lagos State will forever be number one.
The exercise started well and it ended well. It was orderly, peaceful. Everything went well according to our plan, and we thank God for giving us that power and the knowledge to conduct very successful Congress.
Thank God that our outgoing chairman has showed them the precedents to follow. So, and it's best for people if new leadership should learn from old leadership. And you remember when everybody was saying, Buhari is too old. Thank God that you can see in even nearby Malaysia, a 93-year-old was up. The country said they want him as their president. So you can see that age is never the limit. Age, even America tried it. You see, they went back to a 70-year-old. So we are not saying young people shouldn't come up, on board, but they should have experience. And what people don't really understand that when you take leadership in a very young age, you have a lot of fight to do.
Whose Joe Nuno band were quick to share their plans with a journalist.
I've mapped out some strategies for our campaign. Of course, Governor Ambode is seeking a second term. I really want to work tirelessly and relentlessly with him. I want to ensure that both of us work like brothers, like Siamese twins. You'll be seeing us at the campaign because I'm the leader of the party. I want to ensure that he's my candidate and make sure that he wins, not only winning. And the other candidates who might come up, whoever emerges at the end of the day will definitely be my choice. I'm determined to really work for the victory of our party at the next level. We are going to win by landslide by the grace of God. Amen. And the will of Amen. Thank you very much.
The state has gotten to an height that nobody can ever think of bringing it down. So you always strive to do the best, to improve on what you met. So at this stage, nothing any of us will want to think of than to think of how to propel the state further than what we met.
Well, new elected executives of APC Lagos State speaking there. And now moving on, the All Progressives Congress APC in Ekiti State has condemned Governor Ayodele Fayose over his allegation that the party has colluded with the Vice Chancellor of a Federal University, Oye Ekiti, Professor Kayode Shoremeku, to recruit the students of the institution to act as presiding officers to rig the July 14 governorship election in favor of the APC. In a statement by the State Publicity Secretary, Taiwo Olatubosun said the party is not surprised by that spurious allegation. The party said the governor had become jittery since knowing that APC conducted a peaceful and crisis-free primary election that produced Fayemi as the APC candidate. Olatubosun said Fayose's current allegation is similar to his earlier blackmail of the professor when the governor alleged during the state governorship election that INEC had plotted to use Shuremeko to announce a fake result declaring APC candidate Rotimi Akeredolu as the winner. Now, violence has erupted at the venue of the State Congress of the All Progressives Congress APC in Ondo State, held at BTO Hall, Akure, the state capital, as some youths suspected to be political thugs invaded the venue and disrupted the exercise. Report says several members of the party were beaten, including a member of the House of Representatives who represents Idore and Ifedore Federal Constituency, Bamidele Baderiwa. No fewer than 40 people were injured during the violence. Scores of men of the Nigerian Security and Civil Corps who were at the venue of the parallel Congress could not do anything to stop the fracas. Gombe Police Command says it has deployed 500 policemen to the venue of the APC State Congress to ensure safety of lives and property. A Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations, David Juwan, who disclosed the number of personnel deployed to the venue, said the command did not want to take chances. Juwan said apart from the 500 policemen from the command, there were other security men who came from other places in company of dignitaries. Report says Gombe International Hotel, venue of the exercise, had been conned off with security men allowing only those invited. The State Congress of the All Progressives Congress APC in Kogi has produced two parallel state executive councils. The party, who emerged from the State Congress, at two different locations with each faction announcing new executive officers. The Hardy Ametuo faction held their Congress at the St. Peter's Primary School, Felele, while the faction loyal to the governor, Yahya Bello, held theirs at Conference Stadium, Lokoja, Theman Sarara. The officials whose positions were declared vacant are the zonal vice chairman, Ibrahim Ahovi, and the state youth leader, Emmanuel Jimo. President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated human rights activist Femi Falana on his 60th birthday. In a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, the president said he joined family members, friends, and professional colleagues of the lawyer in celebrating the milestone, which has been marked with honors and awards for forthrightness and advocacy for the good of every Nigerian. Buhari commended what he described as Falana's sense of patriotism over the years. The president also lauded the lawyer for his advisory roles to leaders, institutions, and governments, especially on the value of good governance. The Nigerian Army says allegations against it by retired General T.Y. Danjuma that it colluded with the militia in Taraba State and refused to protect the people were untrue. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, made this known at a news conference in Abuja, where he gave the details of the findings of the 10-member panel the Army constituted to probe the allegations. Danjuma had on March 24 at the convocation of Taraba State University in Jalingo alleged that some troops on internal operation in Taraba colluded with killers and herdsmen who attacked communities in the state. But Buratai, who is represented by Major General Anu Angbazo, the Chief of Military Civil Affairs, said there was no collusion of such.
With respect to the statement by Lieutenant General T.Y. Danjuma retired, it is clear that the allegations were not true. Hence, there is a need to urge for caution in view of the security implication of such comments. The Nigerian Army is also of the view that the situation in Taraba State has steadily deteriorated, largely due to distrust, intolerance, lack of inclusion, and accommodation of different ethnic groups in the state. This situation has made it very difficult for the Nigerian Army to carry out its responsibilities in the state without being tainted. Consequently, all sides in Taraba State needs to be cautioned against making inflammatory statements that are detrimental to peace and security.
The panel found out that Taraba governor made several attempts to remove the commanding officer of 9 Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel I.B. Gambari, for his refusal to be dragged into the state's politics. In a related development, the Nigerian Army says it has killed 2 female suicide bombers who attempted to infiltrate troops in Konduga local government area of Borno State. Deputy Director, Public Relations Theatre Command, Operation Lafayette Dole, Colonel Oyema Onwanchuku, discussed this in a statement to journalists. Onwanchuku said the suicide bombers used the cover of darkness to stalk into the military camp, but were promptly detected by the vigilant troops. He said one of the suicide vests detonated, immediately killing the 2 suicide bombers, while the second suicide vest failed to detonate. The Nigeria Air Force, NAF, says its newly acquired I-35M helicopter gunships have successfully unleashed firepower on Boko Haram terrorist camp in southeast of Borno in its ongoing Operation Thunderstrike. The NAF's Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Vice Marshal Olatokunbo Adesoya, who disclosed this in a statement in Abuja, said the air operation was carried out on Thursday. Report says the significant presence of terrorists in the camp, following which Mi-35M helicopter gunships were deployed to attack them. According to Adesoya, all the terrorists within the camp were also neutralized during the air interdiction. The Pharmacists Council of Nigeria, PCN, has started recalling cough syrups containing codeine from its stakeholders in compliance with our federal government's directive. The registrar of PCN, Elijah Mohammed, disclosed this to journalists in Abuja. According to reports, the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, has directed PCN, NAFDAC, and other regulatory bodies to supervise the recall of codeine from the market. According to the registrar, codeine in such a preparation, usually in smaller doses, serves as a cough suppressant and a relieves pain associated with the stress of coughing. Mohammed also said the council, in view of the ministerial directive, has carried out enforcement exercise in Ogun State, Sokoto, and Nasarawa states, adding that same activity is currently going on in Adamawa. If you've just joined us, you're watching Superscreen's News at 8, coming up in business. Minister Budget and National Planning inaugurates Planning Committee for Nigerian Economic Summit. Details of these and more coming up shortly. Well, many thanks for staying with us. Now in business world, a Minister for Budget and National Planning, Senator Udo Udoma, has inaugurated the Joint Planning Committee, JPC, of the 24th edition of the Nigeria Economic Summit. The committee, in a statement, has a mandate to deliver a summit that will not only meet the expected outcomes but continue the work of placing the economy on a path of diversified, inclusive and sustainable growth as set out in the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan. The minister explained that JPC will work under the joint coordination of the public sector, represented by the Ministry of Budget and National Planning, and the private sector, represented by the Nigerian Economy Summit Group, to ensure successful delivery of the summit slated for October 22nd and 23rd. The members representing the public sector include officials of the Office of the Vice President, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, a Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, and the Office of the Inspector General of Police. The Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas, NUPENG workers, says it is worried about the delay in the passage of the remaining parts of the Petroleum Industry Bill, PIB, and has called on the National Assembly to see to its passage. The National President, NUPENG, Williams Akporeha, said the delay in passing the other components of the bill, namely the fiscal framework, host communities, issues, and the Petroleum Industry Administration Bill, gives cause for concern. Akporeha said the nation has lost billions of naira in foreign investments, which would have come into the oil and gas industry due to uncertainties and prolonged delay in the passage of the bill into law. Akporeha also said NUPENG believes that the passage of the PIB will go a long way to ensure transparency and honesty in the oil and gas industry. Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, has called on state governments to partner with the various electricity distribution companies, DISCOs, to ensure improved power delivery in the country. Fashola made the call in Enugu when he led a delegation on a courtesy visit to Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State. He said the partnership is to identify areas of intervention by states in power distribution, adding that the federal, states and local governments are part owners of DISCOs. The minister said 60% shares of the companies were sold to the private sector, while the remaining 40% belong to the 3 tiers of government. Fashola expressed dissatisfaction with the rift between the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company and the state government and called for amicable resolution of their differences. Still staying with business news, National Bureau of Statistics says the country has generated a total of 269.79 billion naira from value-added tax in the first quarter of this year. The Bureau disclosed this in its sectorial VAT allocation report made available to journalists in Abuja. The NBS said the 269.79 billion naira generated in the first quarter was an increase of 6.17% over the 254.1 billion naira realized for the fourth quarter of last year. The report noted that the manufacturing sector generated the highest amount of VAT with a 30.14 billion naira, adding that this was closely followed by professional services, commercial and trading, both generating 16.58 billion naira and 14.93 billion naira, respectively. Sectorial distribution of value-added tax data for quarter 1 2018 reflected that the sum of 269.79 billion naira was generated as VAT in quarter 1 2018 as against 254.10 billion naira generated in quarter 4 2017 and 221.38 billion naira in quarter 1 2017. And now, still ahead on the news. United Nations votes to send war crime investigators to Gaza. Details of these and more come now shortly.